What is happening, everybody? I hope you're having a happy Friday. This Friday should be a happy Friday because it is time to celebrate what an amazing 2024-2025 ski season we have had, and that 2026 will be even more of a blast. Yes, even during the off season, I will keep the content going. I'm going to try to do a video every Friday like I have been, but I will slow down on the ski content. I will still make ski content throughout the off season, but I will not be doing them every week. I will have some other content I plan on mixing in for the off season, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, today we're going to discuss this season's spring skiing in Colorado. Colorado is known for having solid spring skiing as we get a shitload of snowfall in the wintertime compared to most other parts of the world. So Colorado is able to retain its snow into June, if not later. Now here in Colorado, there are 5 resorts that typically stay open into May. Those resorts are Arapahoe Basin, Breckenridge, Copper, Loveland, and Winter Park. Breck, Copper, and Loveland typically close earlier in the month of May, whilst Winter Park stays open a little bit later into May. Arapahoe Basin is known to stay open the longest, as they typically stay open into June and sometimes even July, but that is very rare. Arapahoe's record for staying open was August 10th, which was back in 1995, which is pretty insane they were able to stay open that long. Even if the ski resorts are closed, there's still backcountry skiing you can go ahead and do. But I am not really going to cover backcountry skiing on this channel because I don't really backcountry ski. Maybe I might try it in the future and then we could bring it up as content for this channel. But for now, I'm just going to cover resort skiing. If you want more advice on backcountry skiing, I highly recommend you check out my buddy SRG Skiing, as he is way more knowledgeable about those things than I am. I will leave a link in the description for his channel. Springtime can be some people's favorite time of the year to ski, as there is less bullshit to deal with and you can have a more enjoyable time. For one, there is virtually no traffic on I-70, or at least not to the extent it is during peak season. You will still run into choke points on I-70 here and there, but for the most part it isn't going to take you 3 hours to get to Denver from the east portal of the Johnson Tunnel. Going on a little bit of a tangent, I will have content coming out later during the off season on what are the best ways to avoid I-70 traffic, or at least the worst of it during peak season. Yes, this is a shameless self-promotion, but I really think I am the best person to talk to for this advice, as I spent this entire last winter and previous winters driving up and down the I-70 corridor on Saturdays, and I know the ins and outs of being a weekend warrior. Now we discuss traffic. Another advantage to skiing late season is you will be spending more time on the mountain and less time waiting in line. You will be able to rack up more vertical feet in less time than during peak season because you won't have all that time eaten up by waiting in line. Another advantage is the lifts stop less as the weather is better and you have less inexperienced skiers misloading on the lift. Another advantage to late season skiing is you have better weather. You can get away with skiing without gloves and just a t-shirt, as it won't be bone-chilling cold like during peak season. I do, however, recommend you still wear long pants so you don't get slush inside your boots. One more advantage to spring skiing is you have this exclusive feature that you only get in the late season, which are wiggle runs. I just did my first wiggle run at Winter Park on closing weekend, and it was one of the coolest things I have ever experienced skiing. If you don't know what a wiggle run is, either watch the footage in the background or go look up videos of it. Now, there are a lot of great advantages to late season skiing, but unfortunately, it does come with drawbacks. The number one drawback is most of the ski resorts are either closed entirely, or the ones that stay open have limited run availability. After April rolls around, most ski resorts start cutting down their terrain in half, if not down even more, as they don't have the crowds or the staff to justify keeping it open. So your favorite run, probably most likely, might not be open, or it could take longer to lap, as the most convenient lift that serves that run won't be spinning. For example, the Spalding Bowl at Copper. Typically, you just take the Resolution lift up from the Spalding Bowl and then ride the Storm King T-Bar to lap it. But in the late season, Copper shuts down the Resolution lift, so in order to lap the Spalding Bowl, you have to take an annoying catwalk all the way to Oh No, and take that down to the bottom of Super B, and then ride the Storm King T-Bar to lap it again. Another drawback to late season skiing is the snow quality is a hit or miss. In the late season, you have to factor in rain, as rain is the skier's worst enemy. We don't need to get into how bad rain is for skiing, it is pretty self-explanatory. Whilst on the subject of rain, you also got thunder and lightning, which can shut down lift operations, especially in the high alpine areas, even further limiting terrain availability. Of course, if the sun is not out, it is basically a gravel day, and those days are no fun to ski whatsoever. The final disadvantage to skiing at this time of year is the extreme heat. No, I'm not talking about 100 degrees plus weather. I'm talking about wearing all that ski gear that is meant to be for winter time and it being 50 plus degrees out. It can get brutally hot skiing at this time of year, so make sure you bring water to drink. I recommend a hydration bladder. It may be annoying to clean, but it works very well. Also, this one is for you Caucasian skiers, which is probably the vast majority of the ski community. Don't forget to put sunblock on any exposed skin. The sun's rays are extremely strong, reflecting across all the white slush. Don't be fooled. The sun will literally fry you alive on those fucking slopes. Now we discussed the pros and cons, I want to discuss this year's spring skiing specifically. I would like to say that the 2025 spring skiing was one of the best years of spring skiing we have had in Colorado. Most of the ski resorts retained over 60 inches of snow base in the month of May. That is very good for that time of year. There has been very minimal rain, and when there was precipitation, it usually was snow. We have had at least a storm every single week to retain the good ski conditions. This year's spring skiing was incredible, and it's amazing we are still able to have these conditions with the dramatic change in global climate. Many places across the country have experienced huge droughts, and ski resorts struggled to stay open, whilst the snow is still here in Colorado. Colorado is definitely one of the most resilient places to ski, as we always get good snow every winter, and I don't see that changing all that much in the foreseeable future. I hope you guys all enjoyed. What have been your experiences of skiing in 2025? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace out.